Morocco, the gateway to Africa. A beautiful blend of Berber, African, Arabic, and Mediterranean cultures. A haven for artists throughout time who came to find inspiration in the landscapes, the textures, and the rhythms. In this world of winding streets and time-worn walls, covered in color and gilded in mosaics, lush with culture and laden with history, the center of the Pokémon GO experience, the best place to play the game, is here? It might sound kind of strange, but I first decided to go to Morocco because of a song. It must have been 10 years ago when I first heard the track in question, Marrakesh by ATB. Knowing nothing of this city or the country, I decided then and there that one day I would visit this so-called Marrakesh. I figured if I liked the song and the artist was inspired enough by the place to use its name, then it must be a place worth visiting. Over the years since then, I've come to learn that ATB was far from the only artist who found inspiration in Morocco. Jackson Browne name drops the country in one of my favorite songs. Jimi Hendrix spent time in the coastal town of Essaouira. Before them, the Beats, Kerouac, and Burroughs, and Ginsberg, and Bowles made Tangier their playground in the 40s and 50s. Yves Saint Laurent owned an apartment in Marrakesh that, before him, belonged to French artist Jacques Majorelle. He loved the place so much that his ashes were scattered there. Over the last 10 years, I've grown increasingly curious about Morocco, eager to uncover whatever it was all those brilliant artists found here. So when Tropius was discovered to be an African region-specific Pokemon, I knew exactly where I would go to catch it. I first connected with the Pokemon GO community in Morocco by using the Sylph Road's global community map. I found the Pokemon GO Morocco Discord server and began communicating with the local trainers before I ever even set foot on the African continent. My original plan was to go straight to Marrakesh. It was, after all, the city that initially spurred me to visit Morocco. But I quickly learned that there wasn't much of a Pokemon GO community in Marrakesh, and that most of the trainers in Morocco were concentrated in Casablanca. So I changed my plans to stay in Casa for a few days and meet the local players.
So I'm Mehdi Bou 7, I'm level 39, Team Instinct, and I'm actually grinding to level 40.
Assalamu alaikum, Mohsin Lam. Je fais partie de la communauté de Casablanca.
I'm Ali. I'm Numax, aka Numax in Morocco, level 36. So we're here, part of the Casablanca crew, small community as we call it, the African village.
Nassim, pseudo in-game Max Shiny Balls, Instinct level 40 player, maybe the first one in Morocco. I've been playing Pokemon since my early days in the middle school, since I was like 9 years old or something. I began with the red version. Then Pokemon GO came out. It was like a big opportunity to discover and like realize your childhood dreams. Because if you remember, like when you're a child, the best job that you can do is go travel and catch Pokemon. So it was a big chance to meet other trainers. As you see here, we are a tight group, like 150 people, and we basically know each other. Everyone knows each other. We meet on the same places. Pokemon GO has given us a new way of looking into the city, a new way to looking at friends.
Alors تعرفت على الدراري ابارتيغ من ملي بداو لي غيد. ديك الساعه حاولت اني نبدا نتعرف عليهم، نبدا نحاول اني نوصل لا كوميونيتي لواحد لو بوين اللي كبير في كازابلانكا او في المغرب كامل. يعني حاولت ندير واحد الشانيل في يوتيوب كنبين من خلالها بزاف ديال الحوايج بحال لي كوميونيتي اللي كنديرو.
I played the game since its release in Europe on the 18th of July 2016. So I've been playing alone for about 1 year. Since Red started, I just met new guys like Abdo, like Max Shiny Balls, like players I never have met before. And now we've grown up our community. We are like 100 people. I made good friends. I discovered new places that I've never been discovering before.
With such a dedicated and tight-knit community of trainers, you might expect Pokemon GO to showcase a vibrant in-game landscape. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The Pokestops and gyms in Casablanca are sparsely distributed. Outside the city center, the game is nearly barren.
You know, our group is like 100 people. It's kind of tight group. We don't have this many people playing here because, as you know, we have it's kind of rural.
Yeah.
If we kind of compare it to the US, for example, we have only this area with like 11 Pokestops or something and 3 gyms. If we count like all the gyms in Casablanca, it's like 42 in total. In a city with like 5 million people.
When they say they're a group of 100, they may as well be talking about the entire country. There's hardly a Pokemon Go scene outside of Casablanca. Only Rabat, Marrakesh, and Tétouan have established communities, and some of those communities can count their members on 2 hands.
It's great, like you have this community, this group of people. Like today is my first time with these people, and I feel amazing. Like I am from Rabat community. This is much better. No shots fired like to Rabat community, but like this is amazing.
You guys don't have a ton of Pokestops. Here is Rabat's even less, I'm assuming.
The only Pokestops I have are from Rabat. 26.
That's it, that's all of them.
22 in Morocco, in Rabat.
Yeah.
Many players just abandoned because
Marrakesh,
there's no Pokestops.
No, there is.
There is like in touristic places,
Yeah.
which are like maybe 2 of them. And then you have nice gardens, but they have 0 Pokestops.
Local players are very rare there.
Right.
The concentration is here in Casablanca mostly.
They come here in the weekends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most
really?
of Marrakesh players come here on the weekend to get their legendaries and go back.
And me, I keep going from Marrakesh to Casablanca for work purpose, because Casablanca is a big city with there is more work here, and it's better to live in Marrakesh because the lifestyle is like really nice. But I keep going back and forth between both of them so I can keep playing also Pokemon Go. Because in Marrakesh it's a bit hard, we are not that many players. Now we are trying to get more people to play with us, and we will see if we can get a Marrakech Mewtwo.
Alright.
Hope so.
How much of this behind us is Tétouan? It's pretty much like...
Kind of all of it, except for the region by the sea. It's another small town that called Maradi.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a way to turn. It's like.
But yeah, it's all of it's Tétouan.
So for a city this size, that small area that we walked around is pretty much all of your Pokemon Go activity.
Yeah.
How many gyms, how many Pokestops?
Yeah, so for the gyms we have 2 gyms, and Pokestops I think we have like 12 or 11 Pokestops.
Yeah. We pretty much play just when we are just in the center city.
At most, like how many players are in your community?
In Jadwan I think maximum 15 people. Maximum 15.
But the active one are like 7 or 8 people.
And outside of these few cities, Pokemon Go lies dormant. In the coastal town of Essaouira, we were fortunate enough to run into a couple of tourists at a raid.
Like 100 people playing in Casablanca.
Oh, okay.
But in Marrakesh we are few, and
I haven't seen that. I mean, we haven't seen any.
I think in Fez we were the only ones.
Yeah, in Fez we were the only. I mean, even in Marrakesh, I think we have like, we put some of them onto the gin, and they're still there for like 3 days or something like that.
And in Tangier, a city with a population of nearly 1 million.
Yeah, till now I've been here like 4 times or 5 times, and I never met with someone.
Casablanca is, for all intents and purposes, the epicenter of Pokemon Go in Morocco. It's clear that the trainers here have become close friends. In Moroccan culture, it's common to spend a whole day sitting out front of a coffee shop people watching. That tradition lives on in the Pokemon Go community, though maybe not entirely by choice. Because there are so few gyms and even fewer raids, much of the day is spent waiting for a coveted black egg to appear atop one of the city's towers. The area surrounding the old Medina is by far the densest for Pokestops and gyms, and at the center of it all for the community is this cafe. If a raid egg shows up downtown, there's a good chance you'll see it from here.
We have there is the Blue Tower.
Yeah.
There is a coffee where we lure up the coffee. We're staying here with the community.
The raid scene is, we can say, like 5 to 6 raids per day. I'm talking about legendaries here. Most raids can be done here at the downtown between 12 and 2 p.m. All people, basically, most of the people works here, but we don't have like 20-person lobbies during the weekdays. In fact, we prefer not to play with 20-person lobbies. Even if we are 20, we like enhanced our knowledge on game. We try to educate people each time with each legendary boss, with each update, so people can stay updates and we can play with the optimized minimum number of players. For example, when Latias came out, we advised that don't try to power up these Pokemons to have like a lobby for 5 people, for 4 people, and then we went down to 3 people. You see how it goes. Same thing for Rayquaza, same thing for any boss. So we try to optimize our resources so we don't have this lack of resources or something. So we try to, each time you see, each time one comes to our Discord, we try to introduce him, know his level, try to know if he is good on Pokemon. Otherwise, we try to guide him until he level up and he knows what he is doing and how to join the raid. So for the weekdays, it's kinda rare, 5 to 6 raids per day. But the weekend, most of the weekend, we can have like 17 players spending all the day, from waking up to sleep. Like 17 players on average, maybe 20. They can spend. You can see most of them are here. Basically, most of them are here. So we are basically the same group going out, grinding, etc.
Outside of Casablanca, raids can be even less forgiving.
So on average, then, like with only a few gyms, if you wanted to do raids, how many raids could you really do in one day?
In one day, it depends on the time. Yeah, so for example, we have people who work, we have people who study. So it depends on the schedule of any one of us.
Yeah, I did the three in one day when we...
Yeah.
Tell me about your experience with legendary raids here.
Bad experience.
There was one successful raid in the whole city. One successful legendary raid in the whole city.
Latias.
It was caused by 2 people, by Utsman and Omar.
And we were the only 2 ones that caught it.
Out of how many?
7.
8 or 7, yeah.
Even planning for a legendary raid is hard. Like we planned 3 days before. Like this day we will gather everything. Are you okay? Do you have stuff to do? Are you free or no? Save your passes, gather coins if you can. So it's take preparation. And we barely tried Lugia. We failed. And Latias.
Yeah, because there's 2 gyms, you can get a lot of raids, and if there is one that pops up, it doesn't suit one of us, or someone has to study or to work, or just didn't have the desire to go out. So 2 gyms is, I think, the obstacle here. Yeah.
One solution: make the 350-kilometer journey to Casablanca.
These 2 days we were in Casablanca. Me and Reese, we just came today. We didn't go even home. The community there were absolutely amazing, great people. They helped us in every way, even in the game or as people,
outside the game, yeah.
Places to visit or where to eat. And they were very nice with us, and I think it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the game. And the main reason we go there, I think it's mutual. We went there to trigger X-ray passes.
Even back in Casablanca, though, the legendary raids come few and far between. If you're lucky enough to find 2 consecutive legendaries, they're often a 20-minute drive away from each other. Without some means of transportation, you'd be out of luck. In spite of this apparent limitation, Nassim and the crew have gotten creative, making the most of the lower-level raids that appear between legendaries. Among the mini-games they've come up with is a sort of PvP, pitting 2 players against each other in real time.
As you know, we try to make the game interesting, which we have many kind of challenges, like the solo challenges, the speed time, the PvP. The PvP, we do it in 3 stars and 4 stars, basically. Everything that is doable. This can be doable. If there is a raid, we are enough. We have some people, so try to match themselves. You are like level 38 or something. You try to match with another one. You feel yourself like an opponent of that one. You already lost some matches or won some matches, so you need to take your revenge or deepen the score, as we can say. So it's like that. We make it fun. We have like a leaderboard with the names, etc., with the icons, Archikuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Yeah. Some kind of nationalism, if we can say. So people try to make the scores more higher. About PvP, who's the winner? Of course, the winner is the one who got like the most damage, +3 on the team contribution. Basically, it's one color versus the other color, and they see who's gonna do the most damage. Right. So who is the winner? Yeah. So what's the challenge of it? Choosing your counters. Who's gonna power up? I'm gonna to like change the moves. The example that we have earlier, like the Machamp, it's a steel move. So you want to go for like psychic. What else? Gardevoir is kind of bad choice because it has a steel move. You're gonna risk like the dodge bug, as we say, if you like try to dodge.
Yeah.
So only like straight DPS. So Mewtwo, for example, Espeon, Dragonite. It was cloudy earlier, so we try to make, as I say, the game fun for us. Even the environment doesn't help so much. Not everyone has a Pokestop nearby. You need to travel, like take the bus or take the tramway or the taxi to come here to play.
The idea that limitations breed creativity is something I strongly subscribe to. I think it's telling of the situation in Morocco that the players here have found ways to make use of raids that might otherwise get ignored, especially in regions where legendaries are abundant. The recent loss of raid mapping tools disproportionately affects smaller communities like the one here in Casablanca. With fewer gyms and fewer active players, it's difficult to find raids taking place outside of the city center, especially when most of the community is gathered together in one area. But no one seems to be upset at the added challenge.
Now, because there are no bots in order to give us the localization of the red boss, it's a bit more difficult, but it's a bit more enjoying, you know, because we try to search for the red bosses. Maybe we can go 15 kilometers far when we normally play in order to see if there is a new red boss.
So we can say that we are unfortunate enough by this gym scene, but we are fortunate enough by these people that we meet each day, and the relationship that have grown each day. So we are like a family, as you can see. We eat together, we go together, etc.
What's like the day-to-day experience? Describe a typical day playing Pokemon Go.
Typical day for me, it's mainly playing through Medina. This is where we have a big concentration of Pokestops and gyms, as you have seen playing the game in Casablanca. So here it's a very small place where all trainers can meet everybody. We try to share the information through our Discord group related to this area, because this is the area where we play the most, when we try to grind the most to lure up every time we can with the guys. And this is it. We're playing like in 10 gyms out of 35 gyms in total.
If we want to compare it to other countries, yeah, we are limited by the portals, by the gyms. This is why we don't have as many players, because people are obliged to come here to play. You can have a remote gym, I don't know where, 5 kilometers away from here, but only with 2 players, with the same family or something. So they cannot like ask people to come from here to there to play. So many people on those like remote sides of the city, they have dropped the game basically, or moved to other tools to play the game. So is Pokemon difficult in Morocco or Casablanca in general? Yeah, it is. You can see that we don't have as many children. Maybe you have seen like 4 or 3 children.
Yeah.
These 4 days or these 5 days. It's really sad. How many women did you see? Like 4 women or 5 women? Come on, man. Pokemon has a big fan base. Everyone knows Pokemon, but here on the downtown with most of the cars honking each time, it's not a good place to play Pokemon and go out with your children and with your family there. You need to cross the streets, you need to watch out. Even we have an eligible gym, which is this one, for example. It's not accessible, it's under construction.
This park is a perfect example of this situation here in Casablanca. It houses one of very few EX eligible gyms in the city, but technically it's not even accessible to the public. It's loud, there's nowhere to sit. You've got to be aware of other people with other intentions who use the park to do other things.
We try to do our best. We even escort children, escort women, so they can come here to play. So we are helping each other. By someone on his own, he will drop the game surely faster, I think.
The struggle with construction reaches well beyond the gates of the park. As Mehdi explained when we first met,
no, but Casablanca is under construction now, a big urban plan. You will see maybe by the coast and the sea, you will see even a lot of works done by local administration.
Nearly the entire coastline is under development, which has a unique impact on the Pokemon Go community. Just like the EX gym, the only water biome in the city is inaccessible. Luckily, one member of the group visits so often that he's gotten to know all the guards. By night, they'll come here 2 or 3 at a time to catch their water-type Pokemon.
Famous water biome.
The only water biome, actually.
The only one. Actually.
This is here where we hunt our Magikarps, Wildmers. As you saw, I don't have the Wildorb yet. This actually is under construction, so it will be like a nice walk here with trees, etc., and with chairs and stuff. So only sneaking here with Zakaria with us, knowing the guards, always negotiating how many people is going in to catch their water Pokemons. We had the chance to catch Gyarados here, Lapras. This is Blastoise, Feraligatr. So like the water biome is only here.
Two spots for dragon types, or 3, and here is one of them. So if we don't sneak in and
only stuck with the desert biome.
Only stuck with the desert biome.
Yeah. And has this been under construction the whole time the game's out?
Yeah. So we like grind on the Pokeballs downtown during the morning. We came here like by turn every week. There are some 3 guys or 4 guys coming with Zakaria here to enter, catch their water Pokemon, and then come back. A Feebas! Oh look, we can never catch a Feebas outside of this.
The construction, however inconvenient, is actually telling of greater circumstances affecting the Pokemon Go experience. Morocco is, by nearly all definitions, a developing country. But along with steady economic and urban growth, the number of people owning smartphones has also increased in recent years. Nearly all of the Pokestops and gyms in Pokemon Go are sourced from portals in Niantic's first game, Ingress. Portals are user-submitted points of interest. At their best, landmarks, statues, works of art. At their worst, well, regardless of their legitimacy, most of these portals were submitted through Ingress many years ago, at a time when far fewer people owned smartphones in much of the developing world. Of course, fewer smartphones means fewer Ingress players. Fewer players means fewer portals being submitted, and fewer portals means even fewer Pokestops. So it makes perfect sense that Casablanca has the strongest Pokemon Go community. It's the economic center of the country, one of the wealthiest and most developed cities, and no offense to Casablanca, but it's also one of the least interesting. Even the local trainers would agree. As a Pokemon Go traveler, it hurts me that the cultural hubs of Morocco, cities like Marrakesh and Fez, don't have nearly as many Pokestops for visitors to discover. The problem isn't that the landmarks aren't there, it's just that the local players haven't been given the opportunity to map them yet. Niantic is still working through a massive backlog of portal submissions, and over the last year, as more portals have been approved, many of them have made it through to Pokemon Go as Pokestops or gyms. With new points of interest being added, you'd assume the situation in Casablanca would be better now than it was when the game launched. Well, you might be wrong.
So here we are in by the mosque of Hassan II. It's a huge monument in Morocco and proud for us, since all Moroccans contributed to build it. It costed like $700 million, and it was built in like 1993. Actually, at the beginning of Pokemon Go, there were like 11 Pokestops over here. We had like a few at that entrance, 2 of them there, 3 more here, 2 gyms if I recall well, and more Pokestops on that side, and 1 particularly that was inside. And that was like the biggest problem, because people tried to sneak in the mosque so they can get that Pokestop, and that annoyed some people, and the state made some reclamation to Niantic, I guess. That's why they removed all of them, and not only the one inside, which could have resolved the problem and let us know a bit more to play, since you saw the resources are very few in here. So
when were they removed?
By like the 2nd or the 3rd month after the game went out. I started playing in July, and I think by August, September they were gone.
Despite the Pokestops and gyms being removed, Ingress was unaffected.
So the mosque is here, and this is the way to it.
And a lot of those used to be Pokestops.
Yes, and the gym too.
Yeah.
The lack or even loss of Pokestops and gyms hasn't deterred the most dedicated members of this community. Many here have taken up Ingress and are working towards reaching level 10, the level at which players can submit new portals. These portals, if approved, will eventually become gyms and Pokestops in Pokemon Go, and although it's a slow process, they're happy to do it.
Now we are trying to level up in Ingress in order to get more portals and I enjoy Ingress as much as I enjoy in Pokemon GO. Very good game, very good game.
How has it been, like, trying to level up in Ingress? Is it difficult around here?
It's a bit difficult because you know, the community in Ingress, there's not a lot of agents in Ingress. It's very hard to XP with them, you know.
Yeah.
Very high levels. It's like you are level 10 and they put a Blissey with the 3000 in a gym 3000. Impossible to
right.
To get it on time. Now I'm level 7.
Okay.
I'm going step by step. No worries.
With the most Pokestop heavy areas of the city being less than ideal locations for families, being able to submit new portals in parks like this one could make Casablanca a much more family-friendly place to play Pokemon Go. And while the crew still comes here for the occasional raid, with only a handful of Pokestops, they hardly spend much more time here unless a rare species is nesting. You're playing Ingress so that you can level up and eventually submit portals.
Yeah, exactly.
So that they'll become Pokestops.
Yes. We hope so.
Yeah.
Actually, I started playing Ingress before playing Pokemon GO, like 6 months before. But I give up like really quickly because it was really harsh, and you have to have connection with other people and talk with them and set strategies. So it was more complicated. Now I'm coming back to Ingress just for the portals and to get more Pokestops and more gyms.
Yeah.
Me too. I started playing Ingress to add some portals because in my CC I have just 3 Pokestops and 1 gym. Thus I can play. I have to travel 2 kilometers to get there. It's hard, but in Ingress I come to Casablanca to play.
I mean, it's kind of a difficult workaround to get new Pokestops added.
Yeah. Till now I didn't get anyone, but I'm still trying to just change like pictures and things like that, and they still say no.
If you've ever come across a Pokestop that looks like this, it's because there's no approved photo for it. Ingress players can submit photos, but it seems like Niantic can be a bit picky about what they choose to accept. Nothing. What's the name of it?
Le bassin de la Menara. This is the pool of the Menara. I already tried like twice to submit photos on for Ingress, but they replied 2 times with a negative answer. I just tried right now again, and I will see if they say yes this time.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Niantic's Ingress support site has a page on the criteria for new portals. They should be locations with a cool story or historical significance, public art or unique architecture, or even hidden gems, popular local spots you would take a friend. On top of that, public libraries or places of worship are also accepted. It seems to me like Niantic's standards have improved over the years. There's no shortage of odd Pokestops, presumably from Ingress's early days, that definitely wouldn't be approved today. I highly doubt Niantic's intention was to build a map of a city's bike racks, but if you ever come to Long Beach, you can easily use Pokemon Go to find a place to keep your wheels safe. Unfortunately, players in developing countries won't enjoy the same leniency in Niantic's definition of what makes a landmark. But Pokemon Go isn't the Paris Climate Accord. Letting the developing world have a few second-rate Pokestops isn't going to do irreversible harm to the planet. On a global scale, though, Niantic can afford to be more critical now. They've already built a massive POI database for integrating the real world into their games. It serves them well to scrutinize new submissions, but there might be some cultural differences slowing down the process as well. In the US, nearly every park sign is a Pokestop. It's an obvious, symbolic representation of the space that can serve as a point of interest. In Morocco, though, sometimes even the most beautiful parks can lack any kind of signage. There's no one point, no easily photographed object that can represent the park, and it seems a photo of grass and flowers isn't good enough by Niantic standards. Maybe it's time to start looking at things from a local perspective.
Or give us some sort of representation in each community. We have now discords with Silk Road. Why not design some people or spokesmen from those discords or from the Silk Road, for example? So we can have like an actor on this scene. He can describe a scene, propose something. He can be like the first step into the validation of some new portals, of some new Pokestops, or some gyms. We have fountains, we have mosques, we have gardens, and they don't even have Pokestops or gyms or decent spawns.
And even the process of leveling up in an entirely separate game seems redundant, but right now it's the best we've got. We know Niantic is working on a Pokestop submission system for Pokemon Go. It's been confirmed by the CEO. It may be one of the most requested features, but it's one that needs to be done right. Even here in Casablanca, where trainers are working hard in Ingress to improve the Pokemon Go landscape, they have their reservations about opening submissions directly to Pokemon Go players.
If they submit and they are like a high level, so they will have like a credibility for that.
Right.
So like for Pokemon Go, there is a lot of players. So like maybe someone will just like, in my house, I should have a
Of course,
Pokestop.
yeah.
In my house, I should have a gym. So like maybe I think that's the reason that Niantic is like afraid to do that.
There can be, negative points from this because the Pokemon Go community base is, I think, 10 times bigger than Ingress. I talked to people at big levels on Ingress in Casablanca, now level 15. They told me that sometimes there are people submitting their feats as as portals. So I cannot imagine if you give those level of submission to a 10 times bigger community. Maybe you will see stones that with no, they can be a positive way, but it should be very, a very good, procedure through these PoE submissions. It's difficult for Niantic, and I understand them. I understand the community that are in smaller town that cannot play very, not grind like bigger countries, but I think that they are working on it.
Pokestops are the most important resource in Pokemon Go. Without them, many features of the game are meaningless. It's true that there's an imbalance in the distribution of these vital points of interest, and at its core, the issue stems from the size of the Pokemon Go player base. When Niantic launched Ingress, they placed seed portals at common buildings like libraries and post offices. It was up to the players to submit new points of interest in their cities, but there are at least 10 times as many active Pokemon Go trainers as there have ever been Ingress agents, many of them living in places where no one has ever played Ingress. Even though Niantic has been consistently adding new Pokestops, they're still sourced through Ingress, and therefore limited to areas where there are active Ingress players. Niantic's responsibility now is not just to build a Pokestop submission system, it's to design that system so that it serves the players who need it the most, the players in rural and developing regions. Limiting Pokestop submissions to level 40 trainers is not the solution. In places like Tetuan, where players survive on just a handful of Pokestops, there are no level 40s to even qualify. Eligibility should be based on a function of the player's environment. Maybe players with the highest ratio of XP to number of gym badges could qualify. Or to make things even easier, Niantic could simply geofence the submission system, initially limiting it to high-level players in areas with very few Pokestops and gyms. In Casablanca, this responsibility would fall to a handful of players. In Tetuan, maybe only one, but they'd be happy to take on the task for their community.
I just want to reach level 10. It takes me like forever, yeah, but I want to reach level 10 and to help my sister and my friend to have more things to do, more places to win stops and to have raids.
Yes, I will do whatever I can for this community because I love them, because they made me another person, a better person. So I want to thank them by adding portals, not fictive one, real POAI, I want to see Muhsin, Abdu, Amin trying to be like, not like Brandon Tan on the level, but I would like to see trainers with level 14 2 times or 3 times. I'd love to see that.
The main point is bring the children back. We need them. How to need them? You need to give them like places near them, especially in those rural areas. We are not rural, man.
These are the people most deserving of new Pokestops. The ones who embraced the game despite its shortcomings, who built these communities amidst a barren in-game landscape. These players, whose drive is to create a better experience for the people around them, who are eager to help people discover their city. The ones who never screamed and yelled for Pokestops, but rather quietly put in the work however it needed to be done. It's time Niantic gives them the tools to make Pokemon Go flourish in every region of the world.
think that's good. My battery's been like about to die for 10 minutes, so if there's anything else, like any last words you guys want to share, feel free.
Yeah, I want to make a shout out to Muhsin. He's the one that made us like regroup again, because without him we wouldn't have regrouped. Been 3 months, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been 3 months that we have formed our little community that we've been playing like actively since then.
Nice.
So yeah, shout out to you. Thank you.
Thanks. Special thanks to him.
I think we all want to thank him, because without him we wouldn't meet. Because when we came here, we see that player from Team Instinct is I think level 40.
Yeah.
Who is it? Then he himself looked up me in Facebook and he find me, he contact me. And then he told me if I knew any other players. I knew Driss.
Yes, I knew me.
And then
Only.
Ibrahim. And then it grows. So I think it's all thanks to Muhsin Lolam. Yeah, thank him.
So we can say Pokemon Go is here in Morocco is kinda, we can say it's difficult unless you have the resource, or you travel, you work here, or you have a car, or you are really dedicated. So we can, like, we have a member that's even moved from one city to another to catch his Mewtwo. He spent this one here, Marcin. Yeah. He is not from Casablanca. He came from Casablanca and he stayed here and he moves his job to here.
This is very difficult, but I love the game.
Yeah. I respect that.
So if you are passionate about Pokemon, you will do something you've never done before. And I did something I've never done before. And it's not I want to thank all the community, all the creator of the game, because they made me another person, you know. I've been a bit more, active. I've been a bit more, discovering the world. I never loved to be on a garden like this with people. It was something I would never thought to have done before. Now I'm doing it and I'm enjoying it. I met new people. I'm doing something I'm passionate about. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
You know what? That's fine. I don't even like it. To be honest, the only reason I even grew it out is because this video is sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. We all have our everyday grooming routines, from brushing your teeth, to showering, to making sure your hair doesn't look like a cheap toupee about to fly off in the wind while you're vlogging. Well, I bet you didn't know that Dollar Shave Club, yes, that Dollar Shave Club, has all your grooming products. From toothpaste, to body wash, to hairstyling products, everything you need to look and feel your best. Not just razors. Check it out. These products are amazing. Best in class for less than best in class prices. My personal favorite is the butt shaver. Sorry, shave butter. Dollar Shave Club is practically giving away their Daily Essentials starter set to new members for just $5. The starter set includes 3 trial-size versions of their most popular products that help you stay fresh and clean, along with their executive razor. In your first box, you'll receive their shave butter, body wash, and One Wipe Charlie's butt wipes. Thankfully, I don't have to explain how these work. You'll also receive their executive razor, which includes their premium, weighty handle and full cassette of cartridges. After the first box, replacement cartridges are sent for only a few bucks a month. This amazing deal is available at dollarshaveclub.com/trainertips. That's dollarshaveclub.com/trainertips.